Right, everyone, what is going on? BusterBarnes here, bringing you my match preview for Chelsea's home game against Burnley in the Premier League. Tuchel's second game in charge of the Blues, and hopefully it's one where we can pick up a win. That match against Wolves, it was tricky. They had a lot of players behind the ball, but overall we would have maybe have liked to seen us get a result there, especially with the new manager bounce back. But I will be giving you guys the team news going into this, talking a bit about Tuchel's press conference from yesterday. I'm not too sure if he's got another press conference coming in before this game. I mean, it is about just before 3 on the Friday, so you think it would have happened by now, but if I've missed it, apologies. I'll also be giving you guys my predicted lineup. I mean, whatever that will be. I mean, I don't think anyone quite has an accurate grasp of what he's going to play. And I'll also be predicting the score for the game against Burnley as well. So if you enjoy, do leave a like, comment down below your predictions for the game, and subscribe for more Chelsea FC content. But if I do get into the team news, basically everyone's fit, I'm pretty sure. N'Golo Kante rejoins training. Maybe he won't be ready to start this game against Burnley. I'm sort of assuming that he will, but that is a big assumption. Obviously, some other players that maybe are sort of coming back haven't really featured. Reece James, who knows the status on him? I do think the part of the reason we saw the lineup against Wolves, obviously Tuchel came out and said that he wanted to put the pressure on the more experienced shoulders, which does make sense. But if you actually looked at the team, only one player who started the Luton game started that game, which was Hakim Ziyech, which obviously, I mean, sort of makes sense in the sense we had some players like Emerson and Gilmore play. He probably wouldn't have started that game. But, still, I do think that maybe with the rumours of the over-training of some players under Lampard, maybe he thought that some players did need a rest. So I think there'll definitely be more to tell from this lineup against Burnley than the one against Wolves. I'm not too sure if Burnley really have any injury concerns. I don't think they do. They've actually just come off a 3-2 win against Aston Villa. Maybe a bit undeserved in terms of XG, but that could definitely kick them up a bit in terms of form. We also saw how they performed at Anfield against Liverpool as well, giving them their first defeat at home in however many games it was. So definitely not a fixture to be taken lightly, but hopefully one that we can win. I think we pretty much need to win this game, guys, with Tuchel back. I think you can excuse the Wolves game with all the players sitting behind, a new system, only one training session. But I think if we lose this game against Burnley, I think people will be sort of asking, why was Frank Lampard sacked? But obviously I don't want to get into that. It's crazy that it's only actually been 4 days since that happened. Just the crazy times of being a Chelsea fan, I suppose, with the managerial merry-go-round. But with Thomas Tuchel's press conferences, I'm really liking what I'm hearing at the moment. Him say he talked about what he thought Kante's best position was in the double six, which I think a lot of us would agree with. I mean, the commentators and football pundits always seem to mention Kante's position every single game, which gets a little bit annoying. But they all seem to talk about him in that holding deep role. I don't think that's where he's best. I think in that double six, like he played under Conte, like he played for Leicester as well, I think it's fair. And like Tuchel said, it gives him a little bit more freedom, as he's not just a player that sits back. He does like to drive up the pitch, can produce moments of magic as well. I think his on-the-ball skill is a bit underrated. I'm not saying it's perfect, but he can definitely offer just more than tackles and interceptions. He also spoke about Mason Mount, about his attitude, about his desire for Chelsea, and didn't want us to be too concerned about him not starting against Wolves. He also mentioned about his reputation of bringing in youth and playing youth and pushing them all to their limit, which is great to hear. A bit of a shame that Tomori's gone on loan now. Maybe he would have got a bit more of a chance under Tuchel, but who really does know? And maybe not, because I guess we did have 5 centre-backs, so maybe that was still the best move for him. But yeah, Tuchel having a bit of a laugh and a joke in the press conference, saying some very good, astute things that I think we can all agree with as well. But I mean, it's not just about what he says, obviously, it's about how he acts and what he does with the team. That will be the truly telling thing from him. So his press conferences have been going well. I'm actually starting to like him. Maybe some Chelsea fans didn't want to like him because of what happens with Lampard, but I think it's actually very hard to not be enjoying his attitude at the moment. He knows what a hard job he's come into, and I'm sure he's going to do his best to pick our team up. He did also mention that the Premier League title was a bit unrealistic, but we're still in the Champions League, still in the FA Cup, and hopefully we can win one of those, which I mean I think is fair. If City win their game in hand, they're 14 points clear of us at the top of the table. So I think the Premier League seems a little bit unrealistic, even if we went on and won all the rest of our games. yeah, I think top 4 is more the sort of target for us this season. But with the lineups, guys, I was trying to avoid it, but I do have to get into it at some point. I'm baffled, to be honest with you. We all know Tuchel's reputation of changing up formations. He's played formations like 3 at the back with 3-5-2s and 3-4-3s. He's played 4-2-2. He's played 4-3-3 as well. So it basically is just up to the imagination what he's going to play. He could potentially stick to the 3 at the back for this game because it's what we've been playing. However, obviously we have Spurs coming up, a massive game after this Burnley game, so maybe he'll want to try and prepare a team that can play together before that massive game. So yeah, I'm really not too sure, to be honest with you. So I'm going to run through actually a few different lineups, and rather than going through everyone one by one, and actually just seeing what you guys think. And do let me know in the comments below what you guys think will be our predicted lineup. But I'll start with the one that I think is probably the most likely, and that is a 4-2-2. Obviously, we know Burnley like to play 4-4-2, so a little bit of a counter there maybe. I have got Edouard Mendy in goal with the back line of Chilwell, Rudiger, Silva and Reece James making a return. I've got Kante and Mount as the double pivot. Obviously, depends whether Kante is going to be fit enough to start the game. Neither are necessarily two deep-sitting players, but I do think that, Mount definitely has a bit of leadership about him. I don't really want to see Kante and Kovacic because I never really liked them in a pivot under Lampard, and there's no real communication there. I think I actually would value Jorginho more over Kovacic with someone like a Kante or Mount, which maybe is controversial, but at least he brings a little bit of leadership to the team. But I just hope that Tuchel understands the defensive capabilities of someone like Mount and won't be scared of putting him and Kante together in a midfield two in the middle. But yeah, I've gone for those two to start. Those who I hope do start if Kante is fit. I've gone as the two more attacking midfielders who can sort of be on the wing and drift on the inside. Callum Hudson-Odoi, because I think his form against Wolves was amazing. I think he was our best player. I know that Tuchel may want to rotate and try out new players, but I think he played like he has to start this game. Same with Mount when he came on. I have got Havertz there, and I prepared this lineup a little bit before, but thinking about it, Pulisic didn't start against Wolves, so he could definitely be given a go there as well. So maybe remove Havertz for Pulisic there. Top two, Tammy Abraham and Timo Werner. We could see Havertz maybe be one of the top two. I think Abraham should probably start this game. It's against Burnley, a very physical side, and I think that Giroud didn't really play well enough against Wolves to warrant starting, in my opinion. So I think Abraham definitely needs to go to try and get at that Burnley defence. Played very well against Burnley when we last faced them in that 3-0 win under Lampard as well. We didn't see Werner play, so I do think we'll probably see him start this game in some capacity. So if you take away Havertz and Pulisic, I think that lineup kind of makes sense. It does mean that Ziyech's not in, so who knows, to be honest. I mean, the other formation that I was thinking of that could be the next most likely, or maybe even more likely, depending on your guys' opinion, is the 3-4-3 once again. I mean, it all depends what Tuchel thinks suits our, amount of players, suits our quality, suits the team we're up against. 3 at the back might not be that bad against a 4-4-2 formation, to be fair. This actually could be the perfect formation against a team like Burnley, but if we were to play a 3-4-3, I've actually got the back three again of Rudiger, Thiago Silva and Azpilicueta, who started against Wolves. Maybe you'd want a bit of consistency there. Now, I'd obviously prefer to see Kurt Zouma instead of Antonio Rudiger, but, I'm just going off the basis that Rudiger's German, PSG wanted him. I do think the PSG wanted Zouma, actually, before Rudiger, if I'm not mistaken, but that was obviously a bit longer ago. I'd like to see Zouma get a go and get a start, but maybe he's better with a 4 at the back anyway. I'm not too sure, but I think, I don't know, maybe there's a bit more of a bias towards Rudiger. I'm not too sure. But with the wing-backs, I've actually gone for Reece James and then Hudson-Odoi as the left wing-back. And the reason that I've done that is because Chilwell, he's not been on the greatest form recently, and in my opinion, he looks quite tired. And maybe, again, the overtraining rumours, all of that stuff, maybe he just needs a rest for a game. So maybe this is why this formation could be a little bit more likely for us. I mean, maybe we'd see Emerson or Alonso start at left wing back if that was the case. Hopefully not, though. I think Hudson-Odoi did very well in his wing back role, and I think with him in the wing back role, that makes it a little bit, I guess, I guess makes it a little bit more allowance for some more attacking players to be up top. The only thing is with that is with this sort of wing-back system, we saw that the average position for the Chelsea players when they were attacking was more of a four at the back, which would mean that Rudiger would sort of be a left-back, so maybe I'd be wrong there, I'm not too sure, but I guess we will see. But that would still mean that Kante and Mount are in the midfield, which I guess would have a little bit more protection with the three centre-backs behind them if they do like to go roaming around, but I still think they'd be fine, and that does mean that Pulisic, Werner and Ziyech would be up top. Again, maybe Tammy, but I think that Werner would start, so maybe we see a Werner, Tammy, Pulisic. Guys, I mean, your guess is honestly as good as mine. I don't think any of us can really say with 100% certainty who is going to start this game under Tuchel. I think all that we know is that the players that should 100% be on the pitch, Mount, Hudson-Odoi, I guess Thiago Silva and Mendy as well, and the rest is really just up for anyone's guess, to be honest. Some other formations that I sort of thought of, there's a 4-3-3 if you wanted to stick to that. That is sort of what Tuchel played most of the time with PSG. That would probably mean that Jorginho is in that deeper role with Kante and Mount either side of him, which maybe wouldn't be too bad. I'm not sure that I still am convinced with Jorginho, though. I don't think he moves the ball fast enough to really suit this system, but I mean, maybe he'll improve, who knows. And then another formation was just a 4-2-3-1 with a Mount and Kante. Stick Havertz in there in the 10. Maybe we wouldn't see a Mount and Kante pivot again. I don't know how much that Tuchel trusts Mount's defensive ability. Obviously, when he brought him on against Wolves, it was more in an attacking role. So who knows? Obviously, he's had more training sessions though, so maybe he's come a bit more to grips of how the team is. And there's still some coaching stuff that are still remaining here, so maybe they'll give him a bit of a heads up. But yeah, obviously, like I said, Rudiger's included in all of these because of his maybe standing with Tuchel, but I would prefer to see someone like Kurt Zuma. Hopefully we don't see Alonso make a return, but who knows. But yeah, those are my sort of lineups, guys. If I was going to have to pick one, I'd probably pick the 3-4-3-1, I think. I actually said that I thought 4-2-2-2 was going to be more likely, but now I've spoke about it, maybe not. It just depends on if he thinks that Chilwell can play. I thought he looked a bit tired, but I guess I'm not behind the scenes in the training session, so I don't really know. But do let me know, guys, your predicted lineup in the comments below. It would be very interesting to see. And yeah, if I am going to get into a predicted scoreline, it's going to be tough. Burnley are, like I said, on form. They could try and just completely sit back like against Liverpool, which we know we have struggled. And I mean, it's basically one of the reasons why Lampard is unfortunately gone, is because we've struggled against the teams that are sitting deep. We're struggling to break them down. And I think with maybe a little bit of a lack of confidence in front of goal right now, we won't see loads of them being scored. Hopefully I'm wrong though. Hopefully we win this 4 or 5-0 or something. But I'm actually going to go with a rather safe 2-0 win. I'm actually going to predict an Abraham goal and a Timo Werner penalty as well. Yeah, I do think that maybe we'll see some more. I think Burnley do have a set-piece threat, which I think, again, maybe why Zuma should start this game. I think he is a bit more complete than Rudiger, and I think with Rudiger as well, he can jump high, but I don't think he really has much control over his aerial placement, I suppose, of the ball. But yeah, it's going to be tough, I think, and I think it's going to maybe be a bit nervy at points, but hopefully we can pick up the win, and that can get us on the right track with a very big game coming up on Thursday against Spurs, which we probably also really need to win to try and close that gap between us and the teams up ahead of us. A lot of teams around us as well. Our place could even slip down even further with, I believe it's Villa and Southampton with games in hand around us, so, and Arsenal as well. So yeah, the table is crazy this year. It's a crazy mental year for any team. Like I said, I don't think anyone should be too harsh on managers really, but you know, it's a cutthroat business, it's football, and yeah, hopefully with our full backing, Tuchel can lead us to a win and some better form as well. But my review of the game will obviously be out after it does take place, so do stay tuned for that, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe. I do hope you all have a nice day, and I'll see you next time.